Hello, everybody. Drew here for Drew Entertainment, coming back to you with another stream of Breaking Rocks, episode 31. Yes. Uh, Today, obviously, you guys see the title of it. We're going to be talking about the best open world, best open world games with worlds for you to get lost in. In other words, to escape from reality, which we all want to do right now. Also, we'll be getting in. I would like to get into, but for reasons I will bring up in just a minute, the original plan was to talk about Roe versus Wade, and also react to a Tom MacDonald music video, which I'm still gonna do the music video at the end from Tom MacDonald. Hence why I'm wearing my Hangover Gang T-shirt for this. But unfortunately, because I've gotten no response yet, Desert Nord and Joshy are currently not available at this time. However, my special guest is. So joining me is the one and the only Cowman. Hello, my friend, and I need.
Hello, everybody.
Yep.
I'm dead. Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for joining me, Cowman, and and I'm glad. And I'm glad I asked you here because otherwise this would be a one-man show. So I guess technically you're the guest and the co-host, I guess. At that point.
All right. Well, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so
That's fine. I don't.
Let's do it. This will be fun.
That's fine. I don't know what I'm doing without my brother here. So, but on that note, considering Joshy just invited us to a party, give me a minute. Yeah. Well, he just invited me, then I'll invite you. So just give me a minute, folks. Well, I tried to join his thing, but it said communication error, so I started another one and invited everyone else back into this one. Joshy, get your shit together, please. And just jump into this one. But either way.
Maybe try to jump into this one. It's the same thing happened to him. Communication error.
Probably. Hopefully that will sort itself out shortly. So hopefully we'll still have Joshy, but as it is, when anyone does come into the chat here live, we'll greet them. For now, there isn't anybody here at the moment. So on that note, we're just gonna get into the honorable mentions for open world games for that people can get lost in that are good. So first, I'm gonna wait to see if Nord shows up to talk about Elder Scrolls Online because he's our expert on that one. So let's just go with Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West.
Right, man. I'm playing Forbidden West right now.
So you might as well just take lead here and talk about Horizon Forbidden West since you're playing it as we speak.
Well, it's pissed me off for one thing right now. But no, I'm loving Forbidden West. I love the world. I freaking explore the whole thing. I'm very early on in the game. I haven't really unlocked anything hardly. the game and all that stuff.
And you're playing it on your PC right now.
No, I'm playing on PlayStation 5.
Oh, okay.
And,
How the fuck did you get a PS5?
I got it like Christmas Day of 2020.
So then you suck Santa Claus's dick for it.
Yes, I did. I got freaking lucky. So like
yeah, as anyone would have that got one.
Yeah, I got lucky. I managed to get like on Walmart before the bot showed up. And got it in the cart. Pressed bot on it. And I pressed buy on it immediately before the bots took it.
Here's a fun fact for everyone now. Those that are familiar with Drew That Games on YouTube, which I had been doing the Drew That Games podcast, which is talking about gaming over there until I decided I just want to do one stream just so I'm not spreading myself thin. I've said over there a number of times the story of I could have had a PS5 instead of an Xbox because I had a pre-order secured for it at the time, but Sony started making decisions that pissed me off to the point where I'm like, fuck it, I don't want this thing in it, and I canceled it myself. So life itself is a permadeath situation. And what I mean by that is there's no saving and going back. Once you make a decision, you're stuck with it. Permadeath. And the PS5 cancel pre-order thing for me was one of those situations. Would I go back and not do that? Yeah, probably. But it is what it is. But we were talking about Horizon Forbidden West, though. Yeah, I don't remember how long I'm into it. I think maybe 10 to 20 hours, maybe. So I'm pretty sure that I'm still not even halfway through it.
I think I just reached the 14-hour mark on full playtime already.
Have you gotten to the point where you need to go diving underwater for something?
No.
Okay, then I'm further than you are then.
Hang on. Let me open my main quest. I gotta do main quest. I have to do there's 3 of them. I gotta do the Broken Sky, the Sea of Sands, and the Seas of the Past.
I don't remember the names of any of them. I've just been doing shit that pops up.
The Sea of Sands. The Sea of Sands. Like I gotta go find the Poseidon subordinate of Gaia's functions.
I feel like that should sound familiar, but it's been a while since I've booted up the game, so I don't remember half of the shit of anything that I've done. I'd have to go back and watch my own streams because I was doing that on YouTube. But then again, I've also been diving a little more into Horizon Zero Dawn anyway to try to get through a bunch more of that because I still haven't even finished that one yet.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
I'll make sure to finish that up before I start.
I was gonna try to, but then other stuff was coming out that well, it wasn't so much that as as a bunch of things were coming out like all at once. I'm like, yeah, there's Far Cry 6, so I should get through like Far Cry New Dawn again because I think I got most of the way through it on Xbox or PlayStation or one of them. I believe it was PS4 at the time. I definitely finished 5 on both systems. But yeah, sometimes for me, there's usually times where a game in a series is coming out, and then shortly after, there's another one in another series, and I still have to finish both games prior to that. And I'm like, fuck, there isn't enough time to get through both of these. And then I wind up not finishing both of them before the sequels come out. Because I wind up playing something else. That's just usually how it goes for me. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, honorable mentions for the top 10 open world games to escape to, or open worlds to escape to. Let's put it that way. Also an honorable mention is Fallout 3. I'm not sure what can be said about Fallout 3 that hasn't been said already, other than one, if not the best, one of the best games from the 360 period. Cal?
Yeah, man. Fucking Fallout 3 is amazing. That's the first Fallout game I ever played. Never played any of the other ones. The like the first and second game. I've only started 3, and that was like my really introduction to Bethesda.
That was mine and Nord's introduction to Bethesda was Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, which was
I tried Oblivion. I did not like Oblivion. That was my first Elder Scrolls game. I did not like it.
My brother loved it. I tolerated it because of one aspect of the game. It forces a vampire storyline on you, which just fucking pissed me off because the mechanic in Oblivion for vampires is if the sun is up, guess what? Your health is gonna drain and you're gonna fucking die unless you find cover. And if you do not drink anyone's blood to look human, guess what? You're gonna look like a fucking vampire. And when you go to try to buy materials that you need to take to someone to try to cure your vampirism, the store owner or the store clerk is gonna call you a filthy creature and not sell anything to you.
You filthy creature! I'm not selling you shit. You do not.
Because you look like a stereotypical vampire. Skin is shriveled up, your teeth are showing, and all of it. And that's why I fucking hated that part of Oblivion. Because anytime that those messages started popping up about nightmares and whatnot, I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But Oblivion at the time, before online gaming was a thing for me, that's the only game that I had gotten literally every achievement for, period.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Even my own brother didn't do that because he refused to start over the game. And I did it without having to start over. I just went back to a previous save that at times in which I made one decision, then instead I made a different decision and go the other way. And that's how I wound up doing that. But as it is, Fallout 3 is what we were talking about.
Yep.
Fallout 3 was also my first introduction to the Fallout series. Then I got the gaming laptop that I do my streams live on, like we are right now. And as soon as I saw that for like $5 or whatever it was, Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics was available on Steam, I bought them and tried playing them. I'm like, yeah, I prefer the Bethesda ones, even though that the role-playing aspect of those games is far better, in my personal opinion. But in terms of overall getting lost in the world, yeah, the Bethesda's really good at doing that with their games.
Yeah.
Or at least they were up until Fallout 76.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually do enjoy playing Fallout 76. I have it on Xbox because it's like free on Game Pass. I tried it out, and it's actually not that bad.
I pre-ordered it at launch because I knew the world was about to burn, and I wanted a front row to watch. and burn it did. Because at launch, I was playing it with friends of mine on Xbox Live, Toxic, Prime, and Stalin. Those obviously aren't their real names. It's Jesse, Alex, and David. But I was doing it for review purposes, trying to log in. I was the only one that was able to successfully log in the first try, because at launch there was login issues in Fallout 76. So the rest the rest of my crew couldn't get in, and they kept trying and trying. Like I think one of them, it took like 15 tries. And I got in on the first one, and then they were all pissed off at Bethesda. Like, really? The guy that's going to do this to shit on the game gets in, and we can't? Sometimes that's how life works, guys. But yeah, I got in, so I started roaming around. My biggest problem with Fallout 76 is this. Is basically the online aspect of it. A Fallout game should not be an always online thing. And the reason for that is this. I built my base near the main hub where you trade and shit. To basically help my crew and the guys that I played it with, so they could fast travel to my place and then quickly go trade their shit. Because otherwise they like building their bases in the middle of fucking nowhere. I booted up Fallout 76 one day, and what do I discover? Someone built their base in exactly where mine fucking was, the exact fucking spot. So I spawned in their fucking base, which is also my fucking base. I'm like, fuck this game.
Yeah, I do not like the base mechanic.
Yeah, it does not fucking work in an online game like that.
That's what turned me off on Fallout 4 as well. Because of the fucking bases. I do not like building base.
Well, it's one thing to build a base and for it to remain there. It's a whole other thing to build a base, and then because it's an online only game, someone else builds their base in the exact fucking spot where you built yours. So when you go to play your game, you see random people in your fucking base, and you want to yell at them, get out of my fucking base. And then they yell at you, it's my fucking base. Which both are true. And then a big fight happens, and then you don't have a good time playing Fallout 76. And that was the last time that I played Fallout 76. Is when I saw that, I tore down my base and I logged off the fucking game. And I haven't played it since. Yeah. So in other words, I literally closed up shop in that game. But Fallout 3, the environment, the main story is decent. It's passable. Son looking for their dad the entire time and trying to clean the water for everyone to have clean drinking water. It's very simple. It gets the job done. Would you disagree? I'll take that as a no.
I wouldn't.
Also, honorable mention, Marvel Spider-Man for PlayStation 4. Soon to come to PC, I might add. Your thoughts on Marvel Spider-Man?
Oh man, it's my favorite fucking game. It's like Marvel Spider-Man is like that. It's like the Arkham games to me. Like I will replay that game like 10 times if I have to. I have beaten it so many times. It was the first and only game that I actually got all the achievements and trophies on it. I'm
still working my way through it myself, but then again, anyone who knows my habits as a gamer knows that you're going to hear that from me every time. I got to finish this game. I got to finish this game. I have to finish Marvel Spider-Man still, as as well as Miles Morales.
Oh man, dude, yeah, the first Spider-Man game that like Insomniac did
Hmm.
is great. I absolutely.
It's on par with another Spider-Man game that we'll talk about a little later on. New, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But Marvel's Spider-Man takes me back to that Spider-Man game, and if I had a PlayStation 2 to play that Spider-Man game, that would take me back to want to play this Spider-Man game on PS4 too. So it's so it's a vicious circle of web. Let's put it that way. One game reminds you of the other, and you want to go back to play the other and jump back and forth between the two of them. But on that note, Monster Hunter World is also an honorable mention here.
Yeah.
You're more familiar with it than me. I've played like maybe an hour of it so far.
Oh, you only played an hour of it, really?
Yeah, because it was suggested by a friend. I bought it. I got an hour in, and I'm like, I'll come back to this. I haven't had the chance to go back to it yet.
Okay.
It's still installed on the Xbox One. I never uninstalled it. It's just I haven't been able to get back to it yet. between between all this other stuff that has come out every year since, and other games that I've gotten along the way, a ton of shit has gotten in the way.
If you're not busy at all, like today, you want to play sometime later on today?
I'm supposed to play the Shredder's Revenge with Joshy at some point today.
Oh, okay.
But if that falls through, yeah, sure.
Alright, cool. But yeah, like Monster Hunter World, my two of my friends talked me into getting Monster Hunter World. I was at first I was against it because I was like, man, I don't know, this game kind of looks dumb to me, but I'll check it out. Like they're huge Monster Hunter fans. Like they played Monster Hunter since like the I want to say the PS2 days, and they played it to the PSP era, and everything else. They're huge Monster Hunter fans. This was my very first uh, exposure to Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to expect, and the world is phenomenal. Like, man, fucking, you can you can explore the little zones that you have, you're just like trying to like hunt down a monster and like go like what this guy at. You gotta like actually like investigate areas that been to. You gotta investigate like it's poop sighting and all that stuff when you're able to find it. There's a lot going on. When you do end up finding a monster, it's like it's a straight up boss fight the entire time, and it's satisfying whenever you defeat it. It's so much fun fighting it, dude. You can break off it's like it's like different type of parts on it, and you can get like different materials. It, it, it's a lot of fun. I love the combat. The combat is extensive. It could be uh, it's easy. It's easy to play, but hard to master. I get that. But yeah, I fucking love it.
Yeah, my only experience with Monster Hunter World so far was effectively the start of the game. So at the start of it, when you create your character, you also create your little cat friend.
Yep.
Whatever that thing is called.
It's something with a P, but I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. But I specifically tried to make mine look like a cat that my family used to have called Harpo. and I believe you can actually name it too. So I named him Harpo. And at the opening of the game, the ship gets attacked by a dragon or something, and Harpo, for me, wound up falling into like flames or something. I'm like, well, shit. My dead cat just died again. And then as soon as I get to like the main hub, who do I find at the bar drinking? Harpo. I'm like, so this is where you've been, you little shit. I thought you were dead, but no, you're at the bar drinking catnip. Great. And then I thought about, I'm like, if Harpo could actually do these things that this creature is doing, this is exactly what Harpo would be doing. He'd be at the bar hitting on female cats and drinking catnip. This is exactly what the little shit would be doing. And then that's when I knew I was in for something, going around with Harpo going, where the fuck are you, you little shit? Because when Harpo was alive, I remember we traveled to Illinois because like a family member passed away, so we had to go to the funeral. When we came back, in my brother's room, a bunch of shit was knocked on the floor off his dresser. Same thing in my room, and a few of the wires at the back of my entertainment center got chewed through. Guess who did it? Harpo. Well, first of all, Harpo was formerly a stray, so that's why he did shit like that. And we had a second cat, Tina, who actually behaved herself, because she was a house cat. But, yeah, Harpo was a little shit when he was still alive, and when he passed away, my first reaction was, who's going to chew through my wires now? And Tina's not going to do it. She behaves herself. Yeah, so that was my experience with Monster Hunter World. Watching Harpo die for a second time and then being pissed at him for being at the bar getting drunk the whole time, while I've been searching, finding a way to try to figure out what the hell's going on in this game. Yeah, he's been enjoying himself, and I've been confused. Welcome to Monster Hunter World, everybody. Anyway. But yeah, but I do look forward to finally getting the chance to get back into that one.
Yeah, man.
And then there's another MMO, Elder Scrolls Online. I wish Desert Nord were here because he's our expert on it. I've played a shit ton of it. It is fun to play with another person. By yourself, it's probably not that much fun. Cow?
It's a tough one.
Yeah. It's basically, from my point of view, what Fallout 76 should have been, but never will be. Does that make sense?
I mean, there's a lot of similarities to it.
Yeah. One is enjoyable, the other isn't. One works, the other doesn't. And those are the things that aren't somewhere, which are the most fundamental fucking things in a game. But the similarities being a mandatory online single player, not single player, multiplayer Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Those are the similarities.
And Elder Scrolls Online is also pretty much a straight up.
In many ways, would it be accurate to compare it to Monster Hunter World? In a way?
I don't think so.
But as it is, yeah. All five, well, actually, technically more, because Miles Morales can also be coupled with the Marvel Spider-Man and, and Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West are both honorable mentions. So it's technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 honorable mentions here. But on that note, at number 10, I have Mercenaries Playground of Destruction from the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Mercenaries POD?
Oh man, dude. Fucking. I don't real remember a lot of it, but I do remember like taking place like in Korea, right?
I
And
I've only played the second game so far,
oh, okay. Yeah.
and I barely remember that because that was a long fucking time ago. To the point where I don't even have it anymore.
And the second game was in Venezuela.
I believe when we went our separate ways and when I moved into my current residence, I believe my brother was the one that took Mercenaries 2 with him for the 360.
Okay.
So I believe he has that. Unless he traded it in for money or something, which is highly possible, but Mercenaries 1 we're talking about here, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it takes place in somewhere in Korea, made up place in Korea, I believe. But I remember you had to like take down like a dictator, and you had to like take down his like commanding officers or lieutenants, work your way up to Mill, I believe. Uh, it's a 100% sandbox. You can do whatever you want.
So it's kind of like Just Cause, in a way.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. And it can get goofy too. Like freaking, I remember. The character of Matthias, whatever like that. He's like a Swedish like biker dude or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, it's like voiced by Peter Stormare. It's amazing. I fucking love Peter Stormare. It's just an amazing freaking voice actor. Whenever it comes to just ridiculousness.
Hey, bro.
But yeah. Hey there.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I had forgotten it was a little earlier today than usual.
Yeah, because our special guest is really tired, so we needed to do it a little earlier.
Yeah.
So, my co-host, Desert Nord's finally here. We've already gone through Fallout 3, Horizon Forbidden West, and Zero Dawn, Elder Scrolls Online, Marvel Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, and Monster Hunter World as honorable mentions for open world games to get lost in.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on any of those games, like Elder Scrolls Online, because you're our expert on it?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you take the whole series of maps together, it's one of the larger games there is.
Mm-hmm.
Although, obviously, there are bigger examples.
Yeah, like I think in the square circumference, like the first Elder Scrolls, which was Arena, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I've told you about Daggerfall before. Obviously, that's an insanely large map.
As well, yeah. In total mile circumference, yeah. Even though technically it's supposed to be just like one province.
Yeah. It's literally just It's just the Daggerfall region, but it's massive.
Yeah, which is part of High Rock and part of Hammerfell. But in Elder Scrolls Online, it's all of fucking Tamriel.
Yeah, and then some others.
Yeah. But we were also just talking about number 10, Mercenaries 1, Playground of Destruction from the original Xbox.
Yeah.
You and I played number 2 at the time on the 360. We never really played the first one, but our guest Cowman has a lot of memories of the first one.
Oh yeah.
Right, Cowman?
I remember more of the second one than I did the first game.
Fair enough. But at number 9 of games to get lost in, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that one.
Yeah, that's at number 9.
Yep.
Like I've said, I hate the 3 protagonist thing. Just stick to one. That's all you fucking need. And in the chat, we got Gaming or What. What's up, brother? Thanks for popping in to check this out. And he says, "Hail, Cowman." You're supposed to greet him by going, "Ah." Anyway. But, yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5, as I was saying, I hate the 3 protagonist thing. All you need is one main character. But the world itself, I think it's called Los Santos, which is supposed to be like Los Angeles.
Yes.
Or Kami Angeles, as it is today. At this point, but it's the city itself and the surrounding area is, to me, there's another game that makes me feel like that, but in kind of a different way, but yet in a similar way, which is a little higher on the list, which we'll get into, and you guys will know what I'm talking about when we talk about it. But anyone else want to add anything about Grand Theft Auto 5? Nord? Or Cowman, whoever, I don't care.
Okay, oh man, what hasn't been said about GTA 5? I do like GTA 4 a little bit better than 5. 5 does have its moments.
Same here, even though I've never played 4. That was Desert Nord. But I did watch him playing it quite a bit when we were still living together.
Okay.
And a fun fact, 4 was actually a Christmas present from our sister to Desert Nord, and he opened it, and we looked at each other like, crap.
Yeah, because in all fairness, I hadn't really played a lot of Grand Theft Auto aside from that which I played at a friend's house. And I'm not talking about our friend Justin, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm talking about another friend of mine. I played actually 2 different titles of Grand Theft Auto at his place.
But we were never brought up playing games like Grand Theft Auto. Was sports, Mario games, and basically Nintendo stuff. We weren't really allowed to play games like that at the time.
But I agree, the navigation and the map in that one is pretty big too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But speaking of large maps, which this whole list has large maps coming out our ears for every game. But at number 8, we got Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2. This was the game that I was talking about, comparing Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Cowman.
Okay.
Yeah. Playing this around the time of 9/11, or just after, was when it came out.
It would have been just after, yep.
Yeah.
It came out in 2004.
Yeah. So the first thing that Nord and I did was go to Lower Manhattan to see where the Trade Center used to be in the game.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I did the same thing.
It was the interesting fact that they decided to put that part in the game.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was really, I don't know.
Interesting.
I guess kind of cool of them to do that, because they could have easily just had some random buildings there. But they did decide to put the light tribute in the game. Yeah.
Which was awesome.
So.
Yeah. Now, if they were to remake that today, they probably would have to put Freedom Tower there.
Well, sure, it'd be much easier because they have the building model and all that. They don't have, it's not, people don't look at Freedom Tower and get sad, per se.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point in our history, when they looked at that tribute in the game, they were like, oh, yeah. Like, you couldn't go past that section of Lower Manhattan in the game and not notice it.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. But in terms of the story of it, it basically mirrored the movie of Spider-Man 2 almost 1-to-1.
Yeah, it followed right along.
Yeah, with some minor touches though. I remember that Black Cat. Right?
Oh yes, see that was unforgettable.
Last time I left off in Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4, it was hunting for the Black Cat things in that game. So funny you should mention Black Cat to me at this point, because I'm on the trail of her in the PS4 one.
On the Insomniac version,
Yeah.
Black Cat doesn't come in until DLC.
Oh well, that sucks.
That's a big letdown. But
so that means me tailing her right now means nothing in my stream.
Pretty much.
Well, so much for a payout to the end of that thing in the future times that I get back to playing that on stream. But on that note, if there's nothing else about Spider-Man 2 here.
The one thing I was going to say is that was the game where you could the first Spider-Man game, of which there were many before that, of course.
Yeah.
It was the first one where you could truly swing in an open world environment, like, across buildings, and it was very exhilarating to do that in a video game.
And a fun fact about Spider-Man 2 for Desert Nord and I, that actually led us to Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Sure, yeah.
And it was also the first Spider-Man game where you could actually get on streets. Get street level.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I remember the very first Spider-Man game. It was like a yellow mist. You fall down there, you die.
Well, the ones that me and Drew might refer to were the side-scroller arcade games from earlier. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah. I'm referring to the one on PS1 and the PS2 game, like the movie.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh yeah.
But speaking, But speaking of open world, not really chaos, but open world exploration, at number 7 we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and by proxy, other more recent Assassin's Creed games. But overall, I guess technically you could also say, by and large, part the entire Assassin's Creed series. But in my case, I'm talking about the most recent AC games. Nord?
Yeah. The Assassin's Creed, the first one. I mean, it kind of started the series out as a really, really beautifully done open world game. Especially
in spots.
Well, if you go to, like, say, Jerusalem in the game, or you go to Accra, or you go, just pick one. Whatever map you go to, for the time, that was done beautifully by that game.
Yeah, because by today's standards, that would be considered like a zone open world type of game. It's open world in places.
That game doesn't have the biggest open world maps, but it definitely has some of the most beautiful vistas and amazing detail work.
Yeah.
And then historical buildings became a big thing in the later titles.
Yeah.
But even then, they did really well with that.
Indeed. So. Comment?
I never played. Well, I can't really say I never played Valhalla. I played like 40 minutes of it. I did not like Valhalla, but like the earlier games, like 1, 2, Brotherhood. I absolutely love Brotherhood. I love 2.
Mm-hmm.
I never played that one actually. I heard it was
Cowman's
I heard it was
canceled.
good. I heard it was good. I heard Black Flag is good, but like it came out.
It's good on theme. It's if you like the theme of like the Caribbean and the pirates and the historical aspect.
It was
of that part of our history.
it was basically a fun reminder of the Pirates of the Caribbean films without being tied to the Caribbean films in any way, shape, or form. For lack of a better comparison.
And then what the Pirates games that they made from the movies could have been.
Yeah.
And just a reminder of what it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Just imagine if the main character of Black Flag was actually Jack Sparrow.
That
That'd be a crossover.
Yeah.
That just sounds pretty cool, but yeah, like freaking, I like it came out at the time whenever I was like completely done with Assassin's Creed because remember like whenever I beat 3, I was pretty heartbroken at that ending. I was like, oh fuck this game.
That's how I was about Mass Effect 3. And its ending, but as it is.
Yeah.
But in terms of
after 3, like the way they ended Desmond's story, it did not satisfy me at all. I'm probably like the only person in the entire world that actually cared about Desmond's storyline.
I'd agree with that because I couldn't care less about the little shit. Because my point of view of Assassin's Creed was if they just remove all the Desmond Miles shit, this would be like a much better series for me. If it was just about the assassins and Templars and all that shit. And just remove the modern day crap and just go balls to the wall to the past.
I was always like interested like in the modern day stuff. It's like whenever they introduced like the bleeding effect on stuff like when you're in the animus you learn about like ancestors and you'll get their training and their knowledge and it'll bleed over to you like in the real world. That always sounded cool to me. I wanted to see like, where it went, and it went absolutely fucking nowhere.
Yeah. But on that note, Assassin's Creed Valhalla itself, arguably one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games for me, still does not compete with Black Flag, but it's probably up there in the top 3, if not number 2, for me.
Yeah, I absolutely. I had a great time with Black Flag.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still having a great time with it because I still haven't finished it.
I still think that the series itself was supposed to go the route of the original game. And that game is the only game that stays true to the concept and to the lore of the concept of the Assassin's Creed. But I do realize that some of the later titles did add a lot of thematic elements and a lot of art and a lot of history that's important. And it's difficult to just toss it all out and say, oh, those are all crap. It's like, yeah, I agree. They all added something. But as far as the whole package, I really don't think any game has more respect for itself in that whole series than the original game does.
Yeah.
So, that's all I'll say about that.
I think I just realized something with all of the things that I say here on the channel. Cowman has his own catchphrase, is Mooooove, bitch.
Mooooove, bitch.
Yeah. For me, it's who dat, Drew dat, but it seems to also be, I haven't finished it yet. So, So if Cowman has Moo Bitch and My Nerdy Hump has Turtle Soup, I have Who Dat, Drew Dat, and I haven't finished it yet. So, speaking of, however, games that I have finished the main storyline for one of the 3 story arcs is at number 6, and that's Cyberpunk 2077. So I got through it once.
I have yet to complete Cyberpunk.
You're stealing my... That's gimmick infringement. Anyway. Yeah. Where to begin with Cyberpunk 2077 on top of great music, great world, great atmosphere, piss poor fucking story. In my opinion. But great characters, great backstories to characters for all the characters in the game that you can meet and interact with and this, that, and the other thing. But the main thing for the main character leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Comment?
Pan Am has a great ass.
Did you really even have to say it?
I'm still working on Cyberpunk storyline. I've yet to complete it. Working on all the side quests before I move on to the main story. All the stuff that I've played so far, I absolutely love. Aside from all the bugs, of course. But the next gen version just came out recently this year. I installed the PS5 version. It runs a whole lot smoother. Plays better.
Yes, it does.
And I hardly get to run any bugs anymore. The AI is broken as well. The AI is actually good.
Cowman and I were talking just yesterday while I was playing some Cyberpunk 2077, and I just opened Jackie Wells' garage looking for something for his funeral. Spoiler warning, everybody. But yeah, but I open up his garage and I immediately look at the one thing that I care about the most in his garage was his motorcycle. And I was talking to Cowman when I saw it and laughing my ass off. I'm like, it's vibrating.
Yeah.
And then Cowman went, well, girls are going to like a vibrating motorcycle. Yeah, well, generally when motorcycles are running, they're kind of vibrating anyway, but not like that. It was just rocking back and forth the whole time. Kind of like a rocking chair, but just sideways. But, Nord, anything you want to add about Cyberpunk 2077 that hasn't been said yet? Which will be a short conversation.
I do appreciate the layout of Night City and the way they went about having the map be. It is really good in that regard. And we've said a lot of horrible shit about Cyberpunk, but it was always going to be good in the map regard, and it is.
I was just pointing at on camera the poster on the wall behind me, which has my Kylo Ren mask right on it. But yeah, that poster right there that I'm pointing at right behind me is the map of Night City, even though you can't really see it too well, being that far away from the camera. But that is the poster that came with the Xbox One version of Cyberpunk. The physical, well, obviously physical edition, because it's a physical map, haha. I wouldn't want to try to unbox a digital map. Anyway. Yeah, and going back to what Cowman said about Pan Am's ass, that's the first thing you see when you when you go to talk to her after you talk to Rogue. But if anyone pays attention when you walk into Afterlife, your first actual introduction to her is her walking past you in a bad mood.
Yep.
So,
and on a side note as well, I tried to sit with Pan Am. Didn't work out because I was a woman. I played as a chick. She's like, oh, I'm in the dudes. I'm good.
my first playthrough, I was actually at first trying to romance what's her name? The skinny chick with the tattoos.
Oh, I want to say her name is Judy.
Judy, yeah, that's it. I was going the opposite way from you, and I was trying to romance her, and she's like, "Sorry, I'm not into guys." Because I was basically trying to play as myself in my first initial playthrough, which was as a nomad. And then when that happened, I'm like, well, let's see what happens with Pan Am. And then I wound up getting the ending with her that I did in my first playthrough of the game, which I'm not going to say what it was because you haven't played through the game completely yet. So. But I can say this, that I wound up with Pan Am. So.
Yep.
But on that note, at number 5 is a open world. Well, obviously open world. One hell of a place to get lost in. Geeks and Gamers would know about this. Nord would know about this since he used to live there. At number 5, we got Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
So Nord, you used to live in the Vegas area, so take it away.
Yeah, the one thing I would say about New Vegas is that I appreciate a lot of the references. Even down to the smallest things.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many little Easter eggs in that game.
That you can actually borderline find in real life.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you actually, don't just like take your family to the Vegas Strip for 3 days and actually take the opportunity to live there, like I did,
mm-hmm.
You will notice the Fallout New Vegas references. Before you live there like me, you're walking around, looking at things, and you're noticing things you would call Fallout New Vegas references all over the place. And you're like, wait, they actually put that in the game too? It's funny. It was always funny to me.
Yeah. And then the faction system was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely one way of going about a game story. And very few titles have that type of thing. So it giving you multiple endings was a good idea in that game. It really was.
And also, after the fact, I don't know how I feel about the faction armor being a disguise for you to infiltrate them without getting attacked.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Like, at all, because that seems like a trope that's, well, first of all, you see it all the time in Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, it's overused. It's overused.
Now, at the time, I thought, well, this is interesting, and it will help me get these quests done that I won't be able to do otherwise. So it was
it's almost like
it was only handy for that.
It's like a goofy Hollywood trope.
Yeah.
It's really not something that most gamers are going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The less they use that concept in the game, the better, because you're like, oh yeah, they definitely don't realize it's me.
And unfortunately, that was not in Fallout 4. But comment, anything you want to say about Fallout New Vegas before we get to number 4?
New Vegas was a real fun game. I remember the next period game. Like the beginning of the game, it's like it was like the game was rigged from the start, so shoots you in the face. The game starts out, you get killed. How metal is that?
The last game that I remember another game that happens that you play as a main character and you get killed at the start of the game, which was Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
But just like Fallout New Vegas, you immediately get brought back just like that too.
Yep.
Which also leads me to go, what the fuck was the point of that then? Kill off the main character just to bring him back because you need him for the story? Then why kill him in the first place?
Because they needed years to progress. How many years progress? Like after they brought back shit?
Like 2 years.
Okay, yeah, they needed that time gap.
Yeah, that's a Western trope, by the way.
Yeah.
In there's several Western films where the main character is either narrowly killed at the beginning, or you're made to think he was, but he really wasn't. That's a Western trope. It sets up vengeance. It sets up the mission. It kind of gives you a reason to want to figure out why this happened. So it's a tried and true narrative plot device.
Yeah. But with that said, at number 4, we have our first game that, our first entry where you have to play this much, otherwise this is not going to be at number 4. It's Fallout 4.
Yeah.
But it's the PC modded Fallout 4 at number 4, though. So in other words, mods like alternate start, and whatever other mods you want to use on top of it, as well. Because without alternate start, you're starting in Vault 111, you're going through the vanilla fucking storyline. But also with alternate start, there's also another mod that like kind of alters like some of the dialogue for some of the main characters throughout the main storyline of the game. So therefore, you can actually roleplay as not the survivor of Vault 111. Because on PC, I have a mod that if you go explore in Vault 111, you will see the dead body of the sole survivor, which means he's not the sole survivor anymore. Now is he? At that point.
Just another of the dead.
But through the dialogue changes, everyone thinks that you're him, and you're constantly correcting, no, I'm not who you think I am.
Yeah.
So that actually helps with a vast improvement to turn Fallout 4 into a Fallout game of you telling your own story at that point. So, Cowman, do you want to add anything to playing Fallout 4 with PC mods?
Never played the PC version. Only played the Blood console version on Xbox One specifically.
And there are console mods, and alternate start is available on Bethesda.net for console. So.
Oh, okay. I might give that a shot then. But yeah, like I played it before the mods even came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I played like an hour of it, and I just got bored.
I played all the way through it on both PlayStation and Xbox, getting as many achievements and trophies as I could along the way. So I played through the main story like at least twice. At that point, Nord, you have a copy of it for your Xbox One. How much have you played of Fallout 4?
Yeah, I haven't gotten very deep at all into it.
How far did you get?
Yeah, just like the first 20 minutes, really.
So you...
No. It's...
So...
This is why they created that mod, because the game is not all that interesting at the beginning. The normal vanilla playthrough.
So Nerdrotic is still in that one room in The Witcher 3, and Desert Nord is still in Vault 111. Got it.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, Gary didn't even progress through The Witcher 3 yet?
He can't find the key to the door to get out of the first room. No.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not. They actually talked about that on Friday Night Tights, like right after he started trying to play it.
Oh my god.
So that's how I found out about his funniness with The Witcher 3. So Gary is just locked in that one room with a naked Yennefer the entire time, which is not a bad situation to be in, to be frank. To be locked in a room with Yennefer and she's not wearing anything, who wouldn't want that?
But finding a key in that area is the simplest thing in the whole game.
Yes,
that's why
it
they
is.
That's why they call him Boomer Gary.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tutorial area too.
Yes, I know.
That's funny. Oh Jesus.
But speaking of The Witcher 3, at number 3 is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So that was a great segue, everybody.
Yeah.
So The Witcher 3, Another World to Escape to at number 3. Well, we were just talking about it. The music, the environment, Geralt of Rivia.
Yep.
Yennefer, Triss Marigold.
It's a complete package with that game.
Yes, it is.
Even with the expansions, it's more of a big package.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's what we hope Cyberpunk would be, or will be at some point. But that all depends on CD Projekt Red here. But as far as The Witcher 3 goes, what's that?
I think CD Projekt Red is only going to bring out one expansion pack for Cyberpunk.
That's as far as I've been told too, yeah. Which that's better than nothing, but that wasn't what was promised as well. But they got to move on to the next Witcher game at some point, which they've already pre-announced.
Yep.
At this point.
And for some reason, they're going to use the Unreal Engine instead of their Red Engine.
Which is fine, because they need to move on after the Cyberpunk on Red Engine. Because the Red Engine was Cyberpunk proved, time to move on to a different engine, guys.
Yeah, it needs work.
And I could say the same thing about Bethesda with the Creation Engine.
Yeah.
At this point. Because a fun fact about the Creation Engine, it's just stuff that got piled in on top of the same engine that was being used since Morrowind?
Yeah.
Which was Elder Scrolls 3 on the original Xbox. It's the same fucking engine. They just kept adding more shit to it to try to make it work for Skyrim, and Fallout 76 is the same fucking engine.
Yeah, you can tell too.
Yeah. And same thing goes for Fallout 4. But back to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There's a lot to be said here in terms of the environment, horseback riding, just doing random quests. I'm almost through the main story of it, and I've been actively avoiding a lot of side stuff just so I could try to figure out, all right, what actually happens by the end of the main story here. At this point.
I'm going to say this, don't blow off the side quests. You want to make sure you do it, because most side quests actually tie into the game. Well,
I'm not saying I've blown off all of them, just half of them, I'd say. Because I don't want to spend forever playing this game at the same time, which I know I'm going to have to, because I still have to get through Blood and Wine and the other expansions still. Which those are easy 50-hour things anyway, at least.
Blood and Wine is 4 hours.
Well,
I'm still working through.
Well, that's good to know at least.
Yeah, Blood and Wine was their biggest expansion. Hearts of Stone is a pretty short one.
Well, either way. But still, between how long it takes you to get through The Witcher on that alone with all the quests in it, forget about the world itself. The quest alone will take you like fucking forever just to get through alone. At that point. But speaking... Oh, and the random shit that can happen in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt also bleeds into number 2 on the list of open world games that you can get lost in, is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, definitely.
As seen on my Twitch channel, and also I think reposted to YouTube with one of the episodes of playing through that. Actually, I think there's 2 on the channel, because one was a birthday stream, I believe, that I did for myself. Yeah, the random shit that you can happen to you in that game. On one of the streams, I was just going down the road, a carriage pulls out with guys going, now, and they immediately shot and killed the main character in the game, and I'm like, well, that's nice.
Yeah,
and then I had to reload.
Yeah, the random encounters on that game are very prevalent.
Just like Red Dead Redemption 1.
I had a what you might call a car accident with a carriage that ended in someone getting shot, and my character, namely.
Yeah. But the way you said, I had an accident with a carriage, reminded me of the time that you and Justin ran into each other on your bikes and went over your handlebars.
Sure.
At the same time.
But yeah, the game is full of those types of things where just you got to play it just so. You got to play it just a certain way. And it sort of, while you're in an open world, you are kind of in a box a little bit. Because if you try and play it like all willy-nilly, you're going to die.
Yeah, and be careful of who you're shooting in it. Because if you're in a shootout with a guy that you're supposed to collect for a bounty for a local sheriff, and you accidentally aim at the and if you accidentally aim at the wrong person, you might wind up killing an innocent person, and then the sheriff is going to get pissed at you.
Yep.
I've had that happen to me while playing it off stream previously. Then I had to go and try to pay off the bounty. And
there's so many things you can accidentally do to get yourself in trouble on that game.
Yeah, which is why it's so much fun to play on stream and watch people play on stream, because you never know what's going to happen next. Which is why I'm going to keep streaming it on Twitch until I'm done with it.
I had a moment where I accidentally pulled my rifle and fired. And that's that's bad, because as soon as like 10 witnesses see you shoot somebody, then you need to run.
There were, I believe in one of my streams, I was supposed to tie someone up and convince them to reveal where their treasure is and whatnot. But someone saw me running around with him and was reporting a kidnapping. I'm like, well, that's nice. So I had to go pay that bounty off. Which it wouldn't surprise me in Red Dead Redemption 2 that if you are hired by the sheriff to go and collect a bounty and capture like someone causing trouble to throw them in jail, it wouldn't surprise me in Red Dead Redemption 2 that if someone sees that, they would try to report a kidnapping.
Yeah, exactly. And they did a lot of that in that game where they added to the realism, but they took away from the ease of play,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Which means that in trying to collect the bounty for the sheriff, someone would report a kidnapping. Then you have to yell back to them, "The sheriff is making me do this."
Yeah, you'd think they would give you some way of deflecting the criticism, but
So the weird bullshit that pops into my head now is take the perp to the jail, throw him in the jail, and when you get done closing the gate, you turn to the sheriff, he gives you your money and goes, "You're under arrest for kidnapping."
yeah, I know, right?
You hired me to catch him. Yeah, but someone saw you doing it. So we gotta arrest you.
Yeah, like he's incapable of being honorable about it.
Comment, anything you want to add to the lunacy of Red Dead Redemption 2?
I don't know what the hell you guys like playing Red Dead Redemption 2 like that for. I guess I played it the wrong way because I played the most boring way. I haven't read any of that shit.
Are you even playing the same game?
Well, the
not.
early part of the game though is all storyline, so you don't really get any free roam until a good few hours in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I completed the game one time. I like the story. It does have its problem. There is a certain part of the there is a certain part whenever it kind of teeters off a little bit and it kind of gets lost, but then it brings it back in the third act, and it's just an amazing story. And the writing is phenomenal, and one of my favorite missions is like a mission was very around the very beginning area, whenever you're still in Valentine, and whenever you're just like at a bar with all your buddies, and one of your buddies gets lost, and trying to find like, "Later, where you at?"
Yeah, I remember that one.
You're just drunk as shit. And he's like, "Later, come here, buddy."
That reminds me of one other thing that happened on my stream, which you can find on Drew Deck Games on YouTube, which I reposted that particular stream there. I was going into a place because it said that there was a quest giver there. So I was trying to go into a bar. I think it was in Valentine, I think. There was a bunch of hoodlums out there causing shit, and I was just trying to go in. So they're like, "What the fuck you doing here?" type of thing. Then a gunfight started. One shot got fired by them because I couldn't figure out how to get my gun out quick enough. They shot and killed the main character. I reloaded on the outskirts of town without my hat, and I couldn't fucking find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Then I was like, great. So if I try to go into this place to get this quest, I'm going to keep finding those guys. So I went back there again. They weren't there. I'm like, well, what the fuck was that shit then?
Yeah.
So I went in and got the quest, and that guy wants me to take photographs of what's it, gunslingers, and like shoot them, and do this whole stupid bullshit of try to figure out who the fastest gun in the West is type of thing in duels. I'm like, great, that's nice. That was totally not worth it.
Yeah, like on another side note as well, Arthur Morgan is probably my favorite character. I think he's better than John Marston.
I'm not going to argue with it, but I'm not going to agree either.
I still like John as a character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great character, but I like Arthur more. I don't know why. I just do.
Well, it's because Arthur's more honorable than John.
Yeah.
I mean, John is a former bandit, basically, whereas Arthur doesn't have that necessarily. He doesn't have that kind of side to him. He always
he's kind of
seems
like
to want to do the right thing.
He's kind of like the John Wayne character in every Western movie you've ever seen, kind of.
Yeah. It's just like he's just a guy like in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And he pretty much has to do bad in order to get by, but he doesn't want to. He regrets it.
Yeah.
And on that note, that number 1 is with PC mods, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Or
unforgettable Skyrim.
or just with mods in general. Because if you're playing vanilla Skyrim in 2022, my question for you is, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh.
At this point.
Everything.
Because on PC...
Late much?
Yeah. So, when they're working, because of the most recent update to Skyrim, the PC mods that I have don't work anymore because of the most recent release of Skyrim, which was the next-gen version. I have to go back through and uninstall every mod and try to get the current version, like for Script Extender on PC, to get anything to work again. But before any of that, my favorite mods for Skyrim on PC, and some of them are also on Xbox, which I still use the Xbox ones, and I still play the modded Xbox version of it to this day. Alternate start, obviously, you have to fucking use. But on PC, arguably my favorite character mod or companion mod that adds a new character to play, there's a tie for my favorite. It's either Sophia, which I know you're familiar with, Nord, from watching my streams of playing Skyrim.
Yeah.
But one that you haven't seen, which is a PC exclusive, considering the adult content of the character, is called Misty Sky, or rather, that's the name of the character. The name of the mod is The Erotic Adventures of Misty Sky. Because she comes with a younger sister called Summer Sky, and their things are basically they're dancers that travel through the ends of Skyrim, dancing and performing for people, topless.
Of course.
So, and with Misty, when you find her, you have to rescue her from Castle Dower because she was wrongfully imprisoned by an overly horny guard and his associate who want to commit boob torture on her, and you have to save her from that. She can't find anything to cover her breasts up with, so she uses a leather strap the entire time. But with boobs being the way they act, the strap usually falls off throughout your adventures. And you have to keep reminding her, Misty, your top. And she goes, oh shit.
Sure, this is a mod / expansion clearly designed by literally the most horny Skyrim player ever in history.
But I still thoroughly enjoy it, obviously.
Well, again, no one would say that it wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah. If you were, then
does it add anything at all to the Skyrim story? No, of course not.
If you say that this mod is not enjoyable, you're either gay or
well, sure, yeah.
But as I was saying, you are either gay or Moza.
What do you? A God Howard is going to put this expansion back in Starfield. Just
first of all, how is that going to work when you're exploring planets that might not have oxygen sources?
Well, God Howard will make it work. I don't know how, but he'll do it.
By the power of horny Jesus.
And he's just going to say 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail on those nipples.
Yeah, extreme hyper-realism.
The same realism that we got in Fallout 76, no thank you.
You can see glistening sweat drops and little hairlets.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then I just
You know.
a major bug where the hair starts wigging out and shit.
But at the same time,
Right.
how could I not put a modded Skyrim at the top, considering the level of customization with mods that you could do to tailor your adventure in the lands of Tamriel at that point? You can get even more or less than you did at launch in Skyrim with mods to this day. And mods are the only thing keeping Skyrim alive while we're waiting for Elder Scrolls fucking 6, asshole. Anyway.
That is what you had pointed out, that you literally only play Skyrim anymore because of the mods. So
Exactly. Same thing goes for Fallout 4 at this point. You could flip-flop both of those, and it's the same opinion for, well, with the exception of minor details between Skyrim and Fallout 4, but they're running on the same fucking engine on the Xbox Series X and Xbox One, respectively. So, but it is what it is.
The reason we're so annoyed about number 6, though, is because, like, normally between sequels you get maybe 5 or 6 years on average, but this is like getting to Halo levels. You know,
well, that would be an improvement. Halo.
well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about between the original and the next game after that.
Yeah. For example, when Skyrim came out, I was, let's see. In 2014, I turned 30. So 14, 13, 12, 11. So 30, 29, 20. I was 27 years old when Skyrim came out.
Yeah.
I'm 30 fucking 8 right now. 10 years have fucking gone by since Skyrim came out, at least.
And they're still selling.
And the next port is going to be directly into our assholes. Watch. And we're still going to be waiting for an actual anything about Elder Scrolls 6. But then again, we're also still waiting for the actual release of fucking Starfield still. And for all we know, that might be coming in March. For all we know of 2023 at this point. But as it is,
Does it have a release date for Starfield?
it did. Fuck. It did have one. It was supposed to be on November 11th of this year, but that had since been delayed to Q1 of next year. So March, I guess. But all they're saying is Q1 of 2023. So that could mean January. That could mean fucking April. That could mean fucking anything.
Yep.
It could mean January 1st for all we fucking know. At this point, because I don't know when Q1 for Bethesda and Microsoft starts. Because some companies have Q1 starting like in April. Because that's when I think Q1 for Target starts. I think.
Yeah.
That's when Q1 starts.
Yeah. So, and then other companies have their Q1 starting in January. So I don't fucking know when Q1 actually fucking means at this point. But as it is, yeah, that's the top 10 open world games. To recap, 10 is Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, 9 is Grand Theft Auto 5, 8 is Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2, 7 is specifically Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but largely the Assassin's Creed franchise. Cyberpunk 2077 at 6. Fallout New Vegas is at 5. Fallout 4 with mods is at 4. Witcher 3 at 3. Red Dead Redemption 2 at 2. And Skyrim with mods, regardless if it's console, well, specifically Xbox and PC. Fuck PlayStation mods because they're so fucking limited. Because fuck you, Sony. but as it is, one thing you're learning quickly about us, Cowman, is we don't care who the fuck you are. If you fuck something up, we're gonna say fuck. We're gonna tell you to fuck off. It does not matter if you're Trump. It doesn't matter if you're Biden. It doesn't matter if you're Xbox, which I love. It doesn't matter if you're Nintendo, PC, Devolver Digital, Sony. I don't give a shit. Because, and I'm only going to speak for myself here. I'm not beholden to a console manufacturer, to a corporation. I'm beholden to one flag and one flag only. It's a black flag with a skull and crossbones that says gamer. Period. That has black and white stars and stripes on it too. Because I'm also an American, so fuck off. Anyway, but speaking of questionable topics and this, that, and the other thing, Cowman, if you want to peace out, you're welcome to, because next up is Roe versus Wade. Are you going to join us, or it's your choice, Cowman?
I might stay.
Okay, that's fine. Because all we're going to do is basically not. This is where I'm coming from with the overturn of Roe versus Wade by the Supreme Court. Some on the left are going, this is an outrage. This is an attack on women controlling their bodies. First of all, by the Supreme Court overturning it, guess what this actually means, folks? This means the House and the Senate can actually make laws about it. And I mean the U.S. federal government. This means that also the states can also do their thing with it. So where's the fucking problem here? For any leftist that supports abortion. This is a good thing for you.
They would argue they needed to be available to everyone everywhere because somehow it suddenly became a constitutional right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even though killing my baby has never been in the Constitution.
Yeah, I don't know how they suddenly became concerned about the Constitution either.
For the first time ever. What's that, Cowman?
Yeah, like I am glad that that the abortion thing is like it's a state issue now. But I don't know where they got the idea that abortion was a constitutional right.
It's made up.
I don't know where they got that from. I don't understand it.
They were trying to argue that it was like part of the Fifth Amendment's right to privacy. Seriously.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely just blow the thing wide open. Basically just say, well, you can't arrest me for murder because I have the right to privacy. It's like, really?
What?
Exactly. That's the logic of that argument.
That's the stupidest shit.
I mean, you literally could never charge anyone with any crime ever based on that reading of the Fifth Amendment.
I'm going to go shoot somebody. Why? Because I'm protected against privacy, right? What?
Yeah.
That would be like...
It's a constitutional right to kill somebody because of privacy. It's my fifth.
So then
What?
does this mean that I have the right to masturbate live on YouTube because free speech?
Yeah.
Would that be considered expression, not speech?
Yeah.
Welcome to Breaking Rocks, Cowman. And as I've said before, this is a free speech zone as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if we're live on fucking YouTube or not.
Yeah, the other thing, though, in all seriousness, their freaking out argument is that in 13 states, there are ready-to-go bills to restrict, abortion in various ways. Now, I'm the kind of person that doesn't believe electives should be allowed. But the other examples, the other kinds that represent 3% of abortions, those are fine. But the elective variety is not cool with me. And so all the bills in those 13 states they're freaking out about that restrict it and eliminate elective, like voluntary, don't need to, but you want to anyway, type abortions, those are completely fine to me because you shouldn't, as far as I'm concerned, just willy-nilly be able to kill somebody, even if it's your child.
Yep.
Because we open that door, we're opening the door to parents murdering their kids regular. What's the legal argument for defending the lives of 8-year-olds if you're not going to defend the lives of, a baby either? Like, oh, well, an 8-year-old has more cultural understanding. I mean, what's their argument?
Yeah. So, as far as we're concerned, overturning of, as far as I'm concerned, I can't speak for you guys, but
it'll be legal as fuck in California and New York. Like, don't kid yourself. Yeah. It'll be like past birth. It'll be like up to probably 3 years old for those people.
Same thing goes probably in Illinois as well.
Will be up in that surgery room, but all right, where's that kid at? Right here. Now here you go, Kevin. All right, here we go. He's gonna just like smile and everything while he's doing it too. That creepy smile he does.
Yeah.
Blue states and blue cities will get to have it all day long, so I don't really know what they're worried about.
Yeah.
All they're worried about because not every state gets it. I don't know what they're worried about.
That's fine. I will just hope that I'm living in one of those states that doesn't.
all these insane people are saying like, "Oh, this is just like The Handmaid's Tale." It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, they haven't even read the fucking book apparently.
I even tried to watch the show. I got like 3 episodes and I'm like, this is boring. I'm turning it off.
Yeah. But it also has nothing to do with forcing anyone to do anything. It's literally nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah.
Even the Oklahoma bill, as I pointed out to other people, even the dreaded Oklahoma abortion law, right, still leaves all of the exceptions that Handmaid's Tale refers to wide open for abortion in Oklahoma. So what the fuck are they talking about?
And also a fun fact about Roe versus Wade, I believe it was her name that was Roe, right?
Well, not really. That was just the pseudonym they gave her. Jane Roe was the pseudonym they gave her.
Okay,
during the case because they were trying to protect her actual identity.
Either way, there were interviews that were done where she admitted that she lied about
correct. She had
the rape and everything anyway.
The whole thing. And even if we don't say, okay, well, the case had no merit on its basis, which it didn't. Even if we say that, this isn't how the Supreme Court is supposed to do things anyway. If there is a situation that involves a ruling where a law has to be created to defend the defendant, you can't rule for the defendant because that's legislating.
What's the comment?
I didn't people say that this was a weak argument back then as well too? But
even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that the ruling of Roe v. Wade was done poorly and shouldn't have been done the way it was done.
Yeah.
So
what? I guess how did it even get passed?
Well, it was a simple majority decision by the court, and it was because at that time in 1971, the court was full of essentially leftist judges. Yeah, but they were all men. It was cool when they did it.
And now the weirdos are complaining that this decision is made due to one-sided politics.
There has never been more women on the court than now. So it's like that is the dumbest of all arguments they could possibly make.
Yes, it is. But but as I was saying earlier, this is a positive thing for what's the word I'm looking
it's
for?
The American people. It's the American people on a microcosm basis getting more of the type of government and type of laws they want, instead of having everybody suffer under one banner or the other. Everybody now gets to have what they want where they want it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's the way America's republic is supposed to function. We're supposed to have differing laws. We're supposed to have an uncommon legislature. We're supposed to have differing customs and practices in our states. We're supposed to be 50 states, a union of 50 states, not just one bland, mushed together, country of everyone acting the same across the whole country.
That reminds me of another thing that I keep hearing. It's an attack on democracy. It's this and that. First of all,
oh god, they already started that shit.
That's an even more retarded argument.
First of all, our country was founded as a republic, not a fucking democracy, dumbasses.
Well, sure, that's the first point. But here's the other thing. It's not even true that this is an attack on democracy. This is bringing the issue more into democratic circles, because now you're going to see states voting on these things. Well, that's not anti-democratic, is it?
No, it's not.
If it were,
the dumbest argument they could possibly think of.
If it were, big deal. We're a republic, so what the fuck does that matter anyway?
Shouldn't the people who are in favor of quote unquote democracy want it brought up for a vote in as many places as possible? No, what they want, this is the most ironic shit ever, because what they really want is they want the hammer of tyranny from the Fed to strike down everything that doesn't leave the door wide open for it. Mm-hmm. They don't want democracy on this issue. They want central government tyranny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they want it to go their way, because when it doesn't go their way, then they scream to high heaven again. Because like say if the federal government banned it, nationally, then they would scream and they would actually have an argument. But that's not what happened.
Yeah. So on that note, having this kind of debate, or not really debate, discussion, let's say, about a topic like this, I know is going to draw nothing but hate from certain people, right?
Right. Naturally.
Much
it's a divisive issue.
Much like hate that a member of our team, who is currently not here right now, unfortunately, I don't know why, but he's probably asleep.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Yeah. Joshy064, one of our good friends and a brother to us, has gotten a lot of hate from Disney Star Wars shills on Twitter, which I don't respond to, and apparently I've been dragged into some of it.
What's been going on?
Well, apparently Joshy has been saying how the writing in Obi-Wan's bad, this, that, and the other thing, and then apparently Joshy's got a Twitter stalker who won't leave him alone with his friends, which I guess are like kids or something.
Yeah, they're all like underage.
Yeah. So, on that
they're all
note,
a bunch of TikTokers.
Yeah. So on that note, we're gonna check out a music video from one of my favorite independent artists, Tom MacDonald, called "Everybody Hates Me," in honor of Joshy, and this is the only response you're gonna get from me.
Yo, Tom's got a new song?
No, it's not a new song. This was 3 years ago that he did this.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't think I heard this one.
To be fair, he does release a lot of new music all the time.
Yeah. And I usually react to it on this channel, and lately I've been doing that here on Breaking Rocks instead of Drew Reacts, like I usually do, to get whoever's reaction to who's on Breaking Rocks with me. It's usually Joshy and Nord, but you get to be here for one of them this time, Cowman, for Everybody Hates Me. Because I decided I wanted to do this because I was watching another channel reacting to this, because she had never checked out the video, and it's 3 years old, which was Just Jen on YouTube. So go check her reactions to Tom MacDonald and other videos on her channel. She's a great YouTuber as well. And with that in mind, we're going to check out Tom MacDonald. Everybody hates me after this ad from Liberty Mutual, apparently. There. And another ad. Great. Fuck you, Google. Finally, here we go.
White people hate me, they say that I'm using my privilege for evil, I get it. Hey, black people hate me, they say that I'm racist, my feelings don't match with their message. Whoa, feminists hate me because I believe that their movement is angry and sexist. Whoa. Girlfriend hates me and I don't know why, but I love her, whatever, forget it. Yeah. And gay people hate me because when I see something I don't like, I say that it's gay. Straight people hate me for having the balls to go say what they think and that makes them afraid. Dumb people hate me for making no music containing the truth to expose all the ways. The government robs and the pop culture kills and the rappers convinced them to ruin their brain. Go ahead and say all of that wild online, man. You might need a doctor for if you catch me outside, and I will not apologize if you ain't one of mine, fam. I could not afford to give up if it was finance. They've been hating, I think it's stupid funny. Haters, fake friends, making me stupid money. They've been hating, making me famous. Keep hating, you're wasting all of your energy on me. Everyone hates me for something or makes something up when they hate me for nothing. They claim I'm a Satanist. Hitler's my cousin. I beat up a kid that killed Gabby while hunting. Hey, I heard he's Illuminati. Hey, I heard he's related to Trump. Whoa, I heard he's reptilian probably. Hey, I heard he kills kittens for fun. All lies, all lies, all lies. Y'all fall, I rise. Yeah, y'all phony tough and I'm blowing up, and that's your fault, not mine. Yeah. Everybody hates me, and I only know because I read it, and I'd hate y'all too if that bothered me, but honestly I don't let it. Go ahead and say all of that wild online, man. You might need a doctor for if you catch me outside, and I will not apologize if you ain't one of mine, fam. I could not afford to give up if it was finance. They've been hating, I think it's stupid funny. Haters, fake friends, making me stupid money. They've been hating, making me famous. Keep hating, you're wasting all of your energy on me. Y'all wasting energy, y'all look just like enemies. Only goal is stopping mine, y'all gonna need some better dreams. I've been on the grind, looks like y'all been on your knees. Talking while you're online, hating who you'll never be. Y'all are 35, acting like you're 17. Working late at 9 to 5s, jealous I just rap and sleep. You're angry at your life, got a job, forgot to leave. Now you're growing older in the only town you'll ever see. They've been hating, I think it's stupid funny. Haters, fake friends, making me stupid money. They've been hating, making me famous. Keep hating, you're wasting all of your energy on me. They've been hating, I think it's stupid funny. Haters, fake friends, making me stupid money. They've been hating, making me famous. Keep hating, you're wasting all of your energy on me.
Put your hand up.
And the rest of it is outtakes from the music video. So, but as it is, that's Tom MacDonald. Everybody hates me. Cowman, your thoughts since you haven't seen that before?
Didn't hear a single word.
You didn't hear a single word.
It doesn't often. It doesn't go through very well.
Then you would had to have had the stream open here to see and hear it. But you can watch it back, or you could go watch the video yourself on Tom's channel. So.
Yeah, as far as the gist of it, though, he probably understands the concept of when people get dogpiled.
Yeah. Well, long story short, the premise of the song is basically just keep hating. I'm gonna monetize it, and when you come after me, it's just gonna make me more famous.
Yep. All right.
So.
Yeah, but it's been said many times. Oftentimes, somebody who's taking time out of their day to hate on and harass a person is the one that's really going to lose in the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's always something that I never understand. Is like how much of a damn like oh man, like how much of a coward you have to be in order to like met somebody online on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. Just try and bully them and get them up. And I don't understand why people give in to people do, but there was someone does that to me, I'm gonna be like, fuck you.
I do not know the
lean
answer
in
to
on-
that question. You should probably ask the Star Wars Twitter account that question.
I always lean in on what Jeremy from the Quartering says about it because he gets that hate all the time.
Oh
And
yeah.
he's just like,
man.
at first he was just like, I didn't want to block because it makes me seem like a bitch, but he's like, at some point he was like, I don't care about blocking anymore because I either have to or I literally can't even use my account because of how much, messages I get and emails and stuff. He's just like, I just block people now.
Like, damn, man, how much of a loser you have to be, like go out of your way to take, like, 2 seconds of your day, or probably, like, the whole day, really. So how much of a loser you have to be, like take, like, the whole day out, take time out of your whole day, be like, fuck this guy, I'm going to tell him to kill himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Imagine the people harassing Joshy are like, how did Joshy get free rent in their heads? I mean, honestly. Because it's just endless for him. Or it's
I think it probably started, he got drunk and started tweeting. I think that's where it started.
No, I know, but it's really just like Disney and Marvel stands, Obi-Wan defenders that just can't stand anyone that dare criticize the characters or whatever. It's very stupid that they won't leave him alone.
Disney Star Wars sucks.
Yes, it does.
Understatement.
Yeah, but
And this is coming from a guy that actually somewhat enjoyed Force Awakens as well.
personally I enjoyed it as well, but
and then the Last Jedi came out. I'm like, okay, it's pretty bad. And then the last the fucking Rise of Skywalker came out. And I'm like, okay, fuck this.
on our channel we call it the Fall of Skywalker, even though it actually should be called the Rise of Palpatine.
Yep, I agree with that.
But we still prefer the Fall of Skywalker because there's no Skywalker left outside of Ben Kenobi or Ben Skywalker. Fuck.
So he gets killed too.
Yeah, I forgot. Fuck. There's no Skywalker left.
Yeah, like Rey dies at the end of the movie, and then Ben Solo just goes like, I'm gonna kiss her, like get my life force to her. I'm like, when was this a thing? I don't remember this being a thing. What?
So I guess Disney is telling us that we straight males should never kiss a girl, I guess.
Pretty much.
Because they'll just suck our life away and we'll be dead. Then how are we going to procreate if we're dead then?
But you don't understand, man. The Rise of Skywalker is really an allegory for the Sleeping Beauty, okay?
Either way.
Just taking a shower.
It ain't me. It sounds like it's coming from Nord because his thing is popping up on the screen with that sound. It sounds like someone's cooking something.
Sorry.
Sounds like someone's taking a shower.
There's just the water running. Sink in the kitchen.
Okay. So you're trying to take a bath in the sink?
No.
Yeah, man. Like, being and my friend went to go see Rise of Skywalker in theaters when it came out, and like when it got to like the hour mark, I was like, okay, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I started talking throughout the whole movie. I never talked in the movie theater at all, and this is the first time I started talking throughout the whole movie. My friend goes like, "Dude, man, you don't like the movie?" I'm like, "How can you tell? Because you're talking throughout the whole thing." Like, yep.
I see in my screen here that Ben Shapiro posted a video an hour ago. Ben Shapiro ranks the left. Yeah, ranks it like on a tier list. I'm gonna watch that too right after we're fucking done here.
I gotta go watch that.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, holy shit.
Speaking of,
Yeah, that is a good one. He's tier ranking the lefties. That's
Yeah, because in the thumbnail we got Obama, we got Bernie, we got Brandon.
Yeah, Joe and AOC, and all of them.
We got LeBron, we got what the fuck is his face? It's being investigated for breaking into the Colbert. Yeah, thank you.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I forgot about Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, and then there's Fauci, AOC, and probably, in my opinion, lately the best of the left, Barr, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Gilbert?
No.
Okay.
TV show host. I can't remember his fucking
You mean
name.
Marr?
Yeah, Marr.
Oh, Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Maher. Oh.
Yeah.
And then I think Colin Kaepernick is pictured here too, which you have to put him in there for leftists.
I do like Bill Maher. Like I sometimes.
Lately, I tolerate him.
Well,
At this point.
see, like for me, like the elephant in the room would be Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Because he's not a right winger, despite what hard leftists would like to tell you.
That's true.
No.
Because I fancy a moderate, and politically, I've sat on my fence. I've tried to ignore politics, and then all this shit happened, and they took my fucking fence way over there. I'm like, give me my fence back, please. I want to sit on here and ignore you.
Two things. Jordan Peterson was literally an errand boy for the Socialist Party when he was younger.
Yeah.
And he didn't leave on bad terms. And another point I would make is that he was part of the UN's IPCC panel. Okay? Like, this is not a conservative person. This is a person who would like the leftist solution to work if possible. That is what Jordan Peterson is.
That's fair.
It's just that he realizes some of what they believe is asinine.
Oh, yeah.
And they think that makes him like one of the enemy or something.
Especially all this smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't
like because he's not on board with that, he's automatically not a leftist.
I don't consider myself a conservative or nothing like that. I still consider myself very much a liberal.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be one or the other either.
No, it doesn't.
You have to understand everyone is different.
Oh yeah.
I think the best example probably in history, some people are probably going to disagree, but probably the best example of a conservative liberal probably was John F. Kennedy.
And the other thing is, like, people get it twisted, thinking that political principles have something to do with character.
Yeah, but
because those are two different things.
Yeah.
Like, how you decide to treat other people is completely separated from what you believe.
Yeah.
You may believe completely insane things to one person, or completely reasonable things to that person, but then you may treat them a certain way and completely illustrate your character problems.
Yeah.
Like, there are people that probably I could disagree with 100% on things, but they might be nice to me, and I'd be like, oh, well, that means I should not be mean to them because they weren't mean to me.
And you're still people.
Exactly. Character and politics are two different things, and a lot of people have lost track of that.
Yeah, it's sad too because like a lot of people don't know how to be compassionate, even though they're compassionate.
Yeah, they're just full of rage and hatred.
Yeah, it's really sad to see. Fucking. Like if you just like disagree with them, be like, hey, like I don't, like, hey, I'm gonna disagree with that. But then automatically you're Nazi. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Have I ever once advocated mass genocide on a race of people? Hell
yeah, exactly. Do they have any idea the weight of that accusation? Apparently not.
Do they know what the Holocaust was? Apparently not, because like some of them actually think the Holocaust didn't even exist. No joke.
Well, yeah, and then the other aspect of it is they literally see Nazism everywhere. It's like everywhere they look, they see it, and I'm like, dude, it's a very specific historical party that one country had at one point. That word does not apply to the vast majority of people. And we're talking 98 or 99% of people who engage in political discourse have nothing to do with Nazism. But yet it's thrown around like it's just everywhere.
Yeah, kind of like the word racist, except for it's usually thrown around like, for example, Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars. Yet, what do we keep seeing from them? Displays of racism.
It's like, hey, it's like we think Reba is like a terrible written character. You're a racist. No, that doesn't make sense. But
yet,
yeah, we are racists who loved Lando. I mean,
and just watch. Here's my prediction: to stream Obi-Wan in China for advertising for it, they're going to remove her off of the fucking poster.
Okay, first of all, Moses Ingram literally thinks she's the first colored person in Star Wars. She really thinks that. She really thinks that.
Clearly,
she says that.
Clearly hasn't seen any Star Wars ever. She hasn't even seen Solo then.
No,
It's like, you know, Lando Calrissian. Who's Lando Calrissian? White guy? Like, no.
He was played by
Williams.
Well, technically, he was played by two different black guys, but still.
Even the prisoner girls at Jabba's. Even the prisoner girls at Jabba's palace.
I know that, but I'm just saying that he was played by two different black guys. So there's another black guy that played a Star Wars character. Just saying.
Imagine how the actresses that played the prisoners that Jabba the Hutt fed to the Rancor feel. They're like, I'm black. I was in Star Wars 40 fucking years ago, bitch. You know,
we've gone well off the hinges at this point. Let's bring it back to what we're doing.
Yeah.
I just, you know what's kind of funny too is I haven't watched the Kenobi show at all. I pretty much just fell on Star Wars because
I've only watched reviews of it. I have not seen any of it actually.
Same. I only watched reviews and they do clip stuff like that. Yeah, they showed a clip of those Ingram's acting in Kenobi. It is awful, and I don't understand how it's that bad because I actually watched the movie that she was in. She was in a Michael Bay movie, this year, called Ambulance, which is actually pretty good actually. And she was pretty decent in it.
How did she manage to be this bad in Star Wars?
I don't know.
Because it's the writers of the fucking show. That's why. That proves it right there. If she's not a bad actress, there's only one group of people at fault: the fucking writing staff.
But or the directors. I mean, because they can tell her how to do a scene. You know how she should go about doing a certain scene. So maybe it's bad direction.
Yeah, but either way,
It's
Like if they tell her, we
it's
need you
probably-
to be like, we need you to be angry, and literally her only way of being, why are they telling her to even be angry in some of these scenes? I don't know. It would be way better if she wasn't like always raging.
yeah.
so on that note, our usual outro for a stream is going over what we're going to be up to after this and plugging our shit. So on that note, I'm going to start with Desert Nord because he's here on the channel, and we're going to save the best for last, our special guest here.
Mooooove.
Yeah, so Desert Nord, are you going to be doing anything on your channel anytime soon? I think your last video was like 5 months ago.
Yeah, I've kind of taken a hiatus so far a little bit this year. I did a video early on in the year, but
Yeah, about January
I
6th
might,
at the time.
I might get back into it, which, by the way, still somehow is relevant. How that happened is beyond me. But
because they don't want to let go. Anyway.
yeah, they don't. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get back into it if something worthy comes along. I like to make sure it's topical and of the moment. Like to be ahead of the curve, so to speak.
Are you going to be playing anything in particular?
Well, I mentioned before there's new DLC on ESO, so that's kind of taken up my attention.
Fair enough. For me, I'm going to try to see how many that are watching are going to join me for a quick raid of My Nerdy Home, who's live, according to my screen here, doing makeup and media. So we're going to go try to raid Steph's channel here on YouTube, if she's still live, hopefully, once we wrap this up here. But beyond that, I'm probably going to... I don't know what I'm going to wind up playing. I know that Calman wants me to get into Monster Hunter World with him at some point soon here. So we'll see when that winds up happening. And at some point, Calman, we're supposed to get back into Gears 3 on your channel on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm well aware of that. Joshy is good at two things: drinking, sleeping, pissing off Twitter, and keeping me informed of what you're talking about. And yeah, I might wind up just playing Cyberpunk for a little bit, and then if Joshy's asleep, yeah, I might try to get into some of that with you in just a little while here after I watch the Ben Shapiro video, after I raid stuff here. But beyond that, you can find Desert Nord on Twitch as Desert Nord 26, right?
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitch as Drewdat Games with 2 underscores in the middle of it. Drewdat Games here on YouTube, and Drewdat Entertainment, the channel you're watching right now. And our special guest, Cowman, where can everybody find the stunning and brave cow?
Yeah, boo, everybody. Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch at Calvin93. You can also find me on Twitter. My handle is at Calvin93. And I just post a lot of dumb memes on Twitter like that. I haven't had any crazy people come my way yet, but I'm sure they'll.
Well, they probably will now,
Considering
considering they've been coming my way because Joshy appears on here. So,
if they want to hate watch me, I don't give a shit. I do that too. I don't give a shit.
yeah. So on that note, thank you once again, Calman, for joining us. I appreciate it. We would love to have you again at some point in the future when your schedule allows it once again.
I wouldn't mind. There's a lot of overtime going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's what is it? It is June right now. I've been on overtime for 6 months straight. Dude.
It's currently June 26th at this time.
Yeah, I've been on overtime for 6 months straight.
Fair enough.
And It's get pretty bad. I've been taking a little break from Twitch.
From pretty much anything.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get back into Twitch July 4th, maybe. If I'm feeling up to it.
That's give or take around the time frame that Nord, myself, and Joshy are going to be trying to play Rubber Bandits on my channel.
Yeah, that ought to be fun.
Yeah. Which is a free-to-play game on Xbox Live. So, at least I think it's free. I think it's listed in Game Pass, too. I'm not sure.
It is listed in Game Pass, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, it's just a Game Pass game. Got it. So, on that note, thank you, Gaming or What, for being here earlier. Thank you, Cowman, for joining us. Thank you for waking up, bro.
Of course.
And I will see you guys next Sunday for Breaking Rocks 32. What that will be about, God only knows, because I didn't know what I was going to do for this until like Thursday. So, but until then, we will see you guys. Stay wrapped in common sense. Fuck Naughty Dog. Railers are weird. Fuck Disney Star Wars. Fuck the Disney shills. Fuck Joe Biden. And Nord.
Well, let's go, Brandon.
And for our guest, Moo Bitch, we'll see you next time.
Oh, bitch.